Hello and welcome to the shop and another episode of Shit Gets Fixed. The winter weather is approaching, so I think it's time we fix some shit on this. This is a 2021 Ariens ST24 LE snowblower, better known as the Deluxe 24, in the unmistakable color of Ariens orange. Powered by a 254cc single-cylinder engine, producing an impressive, earth-shattering, I don't see a sticker. So, typically, this is the part where I tell you how many horsepower we're dealing with. And then I use words to further convey my enthusiasm. Words like mind-blowing, awesome, kick-ass, or boss. But I don't know how many ponies this thing makes. There's not a single sticker on here that tells us its horsepower rating. Nothing. We have this sticker right here that tells us it puts out 12.5 foot-pounds of torque, but no horsepower rating. Interesting. Well, I guess we'll just have to go with the torque rating. Producing an eye-popping 12.5 foot-pounds of torque, this is one serious snow cannon. So in this episode, we're going to perform some basic tune-up items on the Ariens Deluxe 24. We're going to do an oil change, install a new spark plug, and a scraper blade and skid shoe adjustment. But before we get into all that, I would like to remind you to please like and subscribe. And even though the tomfoolery meter is cranked up to 10, please watch the entire video. It makes all the difference to the success of this channel. Alrighty, let's get at that Deluxe 24. So I figured we'd start out with the oil change. And before doing service work on any outdoor power equipment, I always like to remove the key and remove the plug cap from the spark plug. Okay, the wrenches we'll need for this are, you know what? I can't go any further until we talk a little bit about this mysterious horsepower rating thing. And you see, the thing is, I couldn't find out any information at all about how many horsepower this thing makes. Nowhere. Not even on the Ariens website. Seemed kind of odd to me. But because of my insatiable want for knowledge, I dug a little deeper and I found out there's a reason for all this nonsense. And yup, it's definitely time for one of these. An explainer! In this explainer, I'm going to frequently use words like claimed, allegedly, and denied, so be prepared. Alrighty, so back in 2010, a class action lawsuit was filed against all lawnmower engine and lawnmower manufacturers that produced and installed engines on their equipment up to 30 horsepower between 1994 and 2010. The lawsuit claimed that the defendants misrepresented and overstated the horsepower of their lawnmowers and lawnmower engines. The defendants denied these claims and denied they did anything wrong. The list of these defendants include Yardman, Cub Cadet, Honda, Bolins, Exmark, Sabre, Scotts, Toro, Yard Machine, Craftsman, Troy-Bilt, Husqvarna, Poland Pro, Lawn Boy, Weed Eater, White Outdoor, Snapper, Simplicity, Brute, no, not the Essence of Man cologne, Murray, and any other brands that had engines made by Briggs & Stratton, Tecumseh, Kawasaki, Honda, or Kohler. So, to put this into layman's terms, the lawsuit claimed that because more horsepower sold more lawnmowers, and why wouldn't it, that the defendant simply changed the horsepower sticker from 5 to, let's say, 8, allegedly, without doing anything else to the engines internally, allegedly. And customers experienced premature failures of their lawnmowers because of this alleged behavior. And they were basically pissed because they were deceived, allegedly. So, if you bought a lawnmower between 1994 and 2010 and you were part of the class action lawsuit, you were entitled to get $35 for a push mower and $75 for a riding mower, and an extended warranty on the engine running that thing. Okay, so from what I could find out, Briggs & Stratton really took the brunt end of this lawsuit. They ended up paying $51 million into the fund and denied any wrongdoing. And this was just to settle the lawsuits in the US. A couple of years later, they got hit by another big one up in Canada for the same thing. So, 14 years later, and all the small engine manufacturers are still way too traumatized and gun-shy to label or publicize the horsepower on their engines. Go to your big box store and walk down the outdoor power equipment aisle, and nope, not a single horsepower sticker in sight. So, that's an explainer why we don't know how many horsepower our Deluxe 24 makes. Who would have thought? Let's get back to that oil change. You're going to need 2 wrenches, a 12mm and a 5/8. I know, just go with me on this. Before loosening the drain plug from the extension tube, place the 12mm wrench on the flats of the extension tube to prevent it from unscrewing from the engine case. As you firmly hold the 12mm wrench in place, loosen and remove the drain plug and drain the motor oil. After the oil has completely drained, wipe down the extension tube and loosely install the drain plug. Use the 12mm wrench to hold the extension tube in position and secure the drain plug with the 5/8 wrench. Ariens does not have a recommended torque spec for the drain plug, so use your best judgment. Fill the engine with oil and insert and screw down the dipstick. Remove the dipstick and confirm the oil level is between the add and the full marks, but I prefer to have it closer to the full mark. That's just me. Engine oil change complete. Now let's replace the spark plug. Removing any spark plug should be simple, right? You would think so, but unfortunately, this one can be a bit tricky. I'm going to walk you through 3 possible methods, and you can decide which one is best for you. Method 1 and 2 start the same way, by removing the muffler cover and heat shield. By removing this unnecessary scrap metal, you gain a lot more access to the spark plug. Now, this is where method 1, my method, and method 2 diverge. In method 1, I use a special 13/16 spark plug wrench to remove the old spark plug and to install the new one. If you don't have this special spark plug wrench, method 2 might be the way to go. In method 2, use a standard 13/16 spark plug socket and an extension. And this is where things get a bit awkward. Only loosen the spark plug 1/8 of a turn. Then remove the spark plug the rest of the way by hand or by taking a small length of 3/16 braided fuel line and firmly press one end over the terminal of the spark plug and twist the spark plug out that way. Installation of the new spark plug is the reverse procedure. So you're asking yourself, why all this baloney business? Well, here's the problem. The valve cover extends over the spark plug just enough so when the spark plug is unthreaded from the cylinder head, a standard spark plug socket becomes stuck, or I should say, might become stuck between the spark plug and the valve cover. It can be done this way, but it takes a little finesse. So if you have some finesse laying around your shop, go for it. Okay, it should be in here somewhere. Where did I put that? Oh, here it is. Now let's talk about method 3. In this method, you don't remove the exhaust cover or heat shield. Using that 13/16 spark plug socket, a universal joint, and an extension, loosen the spark plug 1/8 of a turn. unscrew the spark plug the rest of the way by hand, or use that 3/16 braided fuel line trick I showed you in method 2. Installation of the new spark plug is the reverse procedure. Method 3 has fewer steps, but things can go wrong. Carbon buildup on the threads of the spark plug can make it difficult to remove by hand because of the limited space. Also, when installing the new spark plug, it can be more difficult to get the threads of the new plug started properly, so proceed with caution. And like I said at the beginning of all this, use the method you think will work best for you. Just between you and I, if you're leaving skid marks down the center of your clearing path, it might be time for a scraper blade and skid shoe adjustment. Let's do this. After a lot of use, the scraper blade and skid shoes can become worn. To get things set up properly, we start by tipping the snowblower back onto its handlebars. Loosen the hardware securing the scraper blade and skid shoes. Pull the scraper blade all the way forward or down and tighten the hardware securing the scraper blade only. Tip the unit upright and place some spacers under the scraper blade. Ariens recommends 1/8 inch spacers for hard, smooth surfaces and 7/8 spacers for uneven or gravel surfaces. With your spacers under the scraper blade, adjust the skid shoes so that they are making full contact with the ground and secure the hardware holding them in place. Job done! I really wanted to demonstrate the Ariens Deluxe 24, but we don't have shit for snow. But then I started thinking, and I came up with an idea. My countless minutes of creative sacrifice paid off, so feast your eyes on this. This is what I call a snowmulator. Made up of several components, including but not limited to a subframe, a smoke machine, some C-clamps, and a 30-inch tall outdoor illuminated snowman. Let's give this thing a run. And because of the snowmulator's obvious 100% success, I did what any other creative genius would have done. I took it about town and I showed everyone. I've come to nature to talk about the nature of things. See, the thing is, in my lifetime, I've noticed here in my neck of the woods a dramatic decrease in the amount of average snowfall we get. And there's science to back up my noticing things. Science also says the temperature here is increasing. And as I speak right now, it is December 9th of 2024. And it is 50 degrees out here. Not a lick of snow. I find that a little weird. So what I'm getting at is I so hope this global warming thing is fake or a hoax. Because if it's for real, you and I and everyone else, we're gonna go the same way those horsepower rating stickers went that I talked about earlier. You won't be able to find us anywhere because we just won't be here. Well, I'm going to get back to nature. We'll see you next time.